So the Cowboys smoked the Buccaneers. 5-touchdown performance for Dak Prescott. Threw for 4, ran for 1. And I'm wondering, what are people going to find fault with the Cowboys today? Mike McCarthy had a wonderful night. Dak Prescott did. The defense did. Here's the thing that we refuse to buy into. Yours truly. Well, Tom Brady wins these games. It's only a 3-point spread. Tom Brady at home. Oh, we can't go out this way. But then you go back. The Buccaneers weren't a good team all year long. They beat the Cowboys opening weekend. That was it. They beat them by 16 in week 1. They beat the Saints by 10 in week 2. And then since then, their other wins have been by 6 points or less. The Buccaneers' average margin of victory this season was 6.3 points. That's 27th in the NFL. By comparison, the Niners were number 1. Their average margin of victory was almost 17 points per game. So the Buccaneers were 27th, average margin of victory. The Texans were last at 4.3 points per game. The Buccaneers were only 2 points better than that. Tampa's not a good team, wasn't a good team. At 8-9, really not a playoff team, but they were in a bad division. But we bought into Tom Brady. Nobody else. You know, they have receivers, okay. I thought they had an elite defense when they beat Kansas City in the Super Bowl. That defense was disappointing. But give credit to Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott, because normally we don't do that. The media doesn't do that. And, you know, everything that was sort of set up after that week 1 loss by the Cowboys, we've been holding on to. Mike McCarthy, you know, loses week 1. Uh-oh, he's on the hot seat. He did a great job. Like him or not, respect him or not, people have a problem with Mike McCarthy, I think, because of how he looks. You know, in this day and age, your coach, on the sidelines, he looks like a coach. Mike McCarthy, you know, looks like somebody who might be a vendor there, or he might be an assistant coach there. He doesn't have that presence there. Therefore, we look at him and we question some of his. Now, you know, you can find fault with things that he's done, but I think you also have to give credit to Mike McCarthy. Did they beat a good team last night? No, they did not. But you still beat Tom Brady. And Tom Brady, now the question's going to be, can he leave? Can he leave like that? Can you go out like that? Does anybody remember Joe Montana's last game? Just off the top of your head, because he used to be the greatest quarterback of all time. So I'm just curious if anybody remembers the numbers that Joe Montana put up. I got him here, in case you're wondering. He was with the Kansas City Chiefs, 1994 playoffs, ended the season. He was 26 of 37, 314 yards, 2 touchdowns, lost to Dan Marino, had a late game interception. I don't know how many people said, well, you can't go out that way. You can't go out that way because we move on. Montana was 7 years younger than Tom Brady. But with Tom Brady, he can't go out that way. Well, unless he wins the Super Bowl, he's probably going to go out that way. Does he go someplace else next year? Does he come back to Tampa? If he had gone out last year, that'd be an unbelievable way to go out. Ran out of time against the Rams. But what you saw last night was not pretty at all. But they're not a good team. Didn't have a good offensive line, had injuries. Godwin was back. You had Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette, no show. But this is a team where you go, okay, 13-4 last year. They should reload. They should be ready to go. And it never materialized. They weren't a good team. And it was evident last night. Because now we're looking at the Cowboys, who didn't look good the last month of the season, looked terrible last week against the Commanders. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay. Cowboys, that's a different team there. Are they? Or did they just beat a bad team? And I could see both. By the way, in case you're wondering, the Niners hosting the Cowboys. Cowboys are getting 3.5. That's it. 3.5.
Huh.
Bengals getting 5 now against the Bills. Giants 7.5 against the Eagles. Jags 8.5 against the Chiefs. Those are the updated betting lines according to DraftKings. But if you're going to find fault with the Cowboys, you might find fault with their place kicker. Keep in mind, this is a place kicker who kicked 60-yard field goals, 2 of them in one game against Minnesota. Here is the Cowboys radio network with the 4th missed extra point.
Come on, Brett, you can do it.
Here's the snap. It's good. The extra point kick is up. It kicked off the right upright and went out.
My goodness.
Here's the 3rd missed extra point.
I am praying.
Hold your breath.
Praying for Brett Maher to make this extra point. This extra point.
He missed it. He pulled it.
He pulled it wide to the left.
Like any good golfer, you miss 2 shots to the right, the next one you pull into the water left.
Well, it's in his hand now.
Oh, my goodness.
What the hell was going on last night? Here's Mike McCarthy on his kicker.
We need Brett. He understands that. So, we need to get back on it this week and, get him ready to go. Obviously, we're kicking out, an outdoor stadium out there in Santa Clara. So, he's disappointed, but, we need him. We need him to focus in. And, he's been super clutch for us all year. So, but that's the plan.
What the heck happened there? By the way, I was curious what the over-under was, and I thought it was 45.5. So I'm watching, and I'm going, okay, the extra points sometimes, 1 or 2, and then it's 4. I'm thinking, okay, what's the score? Okay, we do carry the 31-14, 45 under. He kicks 1 extra point. Ouch.
Imagine if that's what you put $1.4 million down on to win 11th.
Yeah. Ouch. Poll question, Seton. What do you have for me today?
Dan, I've actually got a whole bunch of true or false questions for you.
Ready?
Okay.
All right.
So, the first one, Dak Prescott is an elite quarterback. True or false?
Well, now he's moved into the top 5 quarterbacks, I'm sure, this week. Last week he was not.
This morning he is a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah. I just don't know if you can be week to week. You can't be a elite quarterback and it's week to week. Like Eli Manning. It felt like an elite quarterback. Can't spell elite without E-L-I. And I'm like, no. Not an elite quarterback. Good quarterback, but you need to be consistent. I don't think Dak Prescott's consistent enough. But he had a great game. Wonderful game last night. So, no, not an elite quarterback. Elite performance, not an elite quarterback.
So you're going to go false on that question. Okay. Here's one for you. I know you're going to love this one.
Because I think you can only have 5 quarterbacks that are elite at one point.
Okay, so what are your top 5 then? If Dak's not in it, who are you taking out?
Well, I would put in Patrick Mahomes.
Natch.
Joe Burrow. Josh Allen. I would still have Justin Herbert in there.
You would?
Yes, I would.
Ooh,
yes,
man.
I would. And let's see, who else do I want to put in there? I'm going to put Brock Purdy. No, I'm not putting in there. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is in there anymore.
TB12's not in there anymore.
TB12 is not in there.
He was just removed last night.
Yes, he was. Yeah. Not elite this year. Who would be my 5th quarterback? Who am I missing here?
There were moments, by the way, last night that the Buccaneers looked so terrible that, Tom Brady would, throw the ball. It would be, 7 yards off target, right? Yeah. And then when you look back at the replay, and Troy Aikman will be like, I don't really know what Mike Evans is doing here. And Mike Evans, ran out 10 yards, ran in a circle for some reason, and then took off to the left, and Tom Brady threw it to the right. And you're like, what the hell kind of route was that?
I never know if they run the wrong route. We always see the quarterback. You never see a wide receiver point back at a quarterback and what the hell are you doing? It's always the quarterback's doing that to the wide receiver. But, yeah, there were times where I'm thinking, I don't know what the offensive game plan is other than, Tom, just keep throwing. And you're throwing it struck me like Ben Roethlisberger 2 years ago had 68 pass attempts against you're not winning a game. And if you have no running game, you're one-dimensional. Micah Parsons looked like he was playing out back with his friends. He was laughing and joking. There was getting in the Buccaneers huddle. You didn't have to have a defensive philosophy. You know, Dan Quinn didn't have to go, we have to really devise something to shut down TB12 there. What else do you have, Seton?
Here's another true or false for you. True or false? True or false?
All right.
Mike McCarthy's job is safe.
See, that's another one where, the media's got to be going, oh, he had a great game last night. Now we can't critique him.
But is it enough?
His job shouldn't be in jeopardy. It shouldn't be. But it might be. Now, here's if he gets blown out against San Francisco, what's the margin of victory that you would go, I don't know, maybe it's time to make a change there. I guess the only way you make a change is if you really believe in Sean Payton and you really don't believe in Mike McCarthy. And what he did last night, I can't find fault with that. It's great when you have Tony Pollard there, who I love. Love watching him. Yeah, Paul.
If you guys were the head coach after Brett Maher misses his third extra point, if you notice the tide had turned, he misses the first extra point, all the guys in the huddle are like, all right, get it together. Second extra point, they're all patting him on the back, get it together. After the third mixed extra point, they started walking away from him, and they were frustrated. After the fourth, Prescott and other players were yelling on the sidelines, let's go for two. Would you have stuck with the kicker because you do need him for the next month? Or would you have said, hey, we need points here, we'll go for two for the rest of the game?
No, I gotta have him kick one.
Until he makes it.
Yeah. We're gonna keep scoring touchdowns until you make an extra point here.
And when he did, even the Buccaneers fans cheered for him. The whole stadium erupted when he finally hit an extra point. Hey, all right, well done.
Yeah. Yes, Tom.
You can't miss 2 extra points in a row. You go for 2 after the second one. It's just inexcusable. You missed 2 straight. I know you don't want to have him lose his confidence, and you need him if you win for the divisional playoff and beyond. Once the second one in a row misses, 2-point conversion.
You're going to be Mike McCarthy. He just missed 2 in a row. You just scored a touchdown. And you're going to go over there and tell him that he's not kicking.
I'm going to put my arm around him and say, hey, maybe it's not your night, and don't worry about it. We still love you, but you know what? The rest of the way, we're going to go for 2.
Don't worry about it. You're worrying about it.
I got to go over. I got to acknowledge. I'm not going to blow him off and give him the cold shoulder. I will acknowledge the decision I'm making, but just wanted to let you know maybe it's just not your night. Have a seat. We're going to go for 2 when we're in these situations the rest of the game.
Are you going to politely bench him?
I will. I'm not going to say, what the hell is that out there? Are you kidding me? This is the playoffs. You can't hit an X 2 in a row you missed?
Yes.
Have you guys ever watched a sporting event with Todd that he cared about?
Yes.
Yeah. Is his demeanor more like Exhibit A or Exhibit B there? Is he more like, hey, buddy, don't worry about it, okay? You're going to do this, or it's going to be like, holding!
It's easy to say that when you're pretending to be the Cowboys coach. If I was the Broncos head coach and that was going on, I would probably be a little more...
It was 2nd and 12. That was 3rd and 15. What are you guys doing? You suck.
Yeah.
How is that offsides? How could that possibly be offsides?
How could you possibly be offside to get divisional playoff round?
Yeah, you would not be able to put your arm around your kicker.
Hey, maybe it's not your night, buddy, but okay, we're
the
not
kicker
disappointing you. It's okay.
If the kicker was a female, he absolutely would.
Oh, yeah. Come here. Come on.
How was your commute to the stadium?
Yeah.